Cheong Myeong spreads his swords while he is in the mid-air. Then Cheong Myeong steps on the wall to gather momentum. He makes it to push himself to boost him for one attack. He creates multiple slashes to attack the bat, and every attack creates a plum blossom. A swift attack from Cheong Myeong was seen, and any bats near him were all sliced one by one. Cheong Myeong referred to that technique as falling petals. Bats were taken down one by one in a scene reminiscent of a bat rain. Hong Daegwang, who was watching below, was amazed on the movement of Cheong Myeong that created plum blossom. As soon as Cheong Myeong landed, there were still bats that were falling down from his attack. Daegwang was still in awe. In his mind, this is the sight that appeared before my eyes, brought back memories of the plum blossoms that had vanished from the world. Now, however, they have appeared once again. The plum blossom of the Mount Hua sect. Cheong Myeong put back his swords in the scabbard and he shouted, "Know your place, you darn bats." After that, the bats didn't try to attack them anymore. Baekjun said, "It looks like they are stricken with fear. That must be why they aren't charging at us anymore." Hong Daegwang replied, "To think a sword technique would be able to strike birds with fear. Wait, bats aren't birds, are they?" Daegwang looked at the bat. In his mind, "I don't know if this should be considered strange or impressive. Damn it, I am scared of what might appear next." Cheong Myeong shouted, "Why are you guys standing around? Let's move." Daegwang looked at Cheong Myeong. In his mind, "Anyhow, I think sticking with him was the best choice we could make. Otherwise, we would be dead already." Cheong Myeong called Daegwang and said, "You really did great by choosing to stick with me." Hearing that made Daegwang confused. In his mind, "Huh? Did I say that out loud just now?" Cheong Myeong smirked and said, "But have you come here just to have fun? It is about time you stop only observing and start providing us help. It is so nice to be with you. Just enjoy people paving paths for you without having to do anything. I guess the beggar sect that is supposed to be famous is no longer in its heyday." Hearing that made Daegwang think, "Oh, this bastard was just being sarcastic. I take back my words about him being the best choice." While walking further, they enter to a new cave. Yoon Young said, "A cave within a cave and a new path lit with the phosphorescent pearls. Doesn't this feel strange? As if things are repeating themselves." Baekjun replied, "Yeah, it does feel like that." He added, "I am not certain yet, but if this path is similar to the previous one, it would be best not to do anything stupid near the phosphorescent pearls." He looked at Daegwang and said, "We just need to avoid doing dumb stuff." Daegwang said, "Everyone makes mistakes sometimes, okay?" Baekjun replied with his smirking face, "I wasn't really directing that at anyone though." "Sir?" Looking at his face, in Daegwang's mind, his expression is totally different from what he is saying though. One of the beggars can't stand the paralyzing poison he got from being bitten by the bat. He falls down and calls his branch leader. Hong Daegwang called Cheong Myeong and said, "Mount Hua Divine Dragon, I know we are in a rush, but can we take a short break first?" Daegwang told Cheong Myeong that he needed some time to take a look at his condition. Cheong Myeong told him that he could do that. Daegwang asks, "Huh? That's it?" Cheong Myeong replied, "Yeah. What do you need more from me?" Daegwang said, "I mean, it is so unlike you to agree so easily." Cheong Myeong replied, "That's it. What else can we do when he's hurting?" Daegwang was still confused as to why did he agreed so easily, but he gave his thanks to Cheong Myeong. Hong Daegwang picks up the antidote he reserved for emergency and put it in the wound of one of his men. Daegwang looked at Cheong Myeong. In his mind, I don't really get what is going on in his head. He doesn't look like he would care for others based on how he usually behaves. However, he is willing to put his own interests aside when it comes to people. Does he actually have the qualities of a chivalrous warrior? Cheong Myeong looks at the long path that they need to take. In his mind, I am sensing energy waves. Something is happening in a pretty far place. I can see it. Murderous and fighting intent are exuding all over the place. Either a huge battle has taken place there, or those who fell into a trap are fighting something. There is no need for us to go there quickly and help them in their confrontation. If we take our time and wait, they will open up the path for us. That is the reason I let them go ahead of me. We don't know what kind of traps await us in here. If the demonic vampire bats from before appear again, even I will get tired eventually. I need to preserve as much as strength as possible. I have learned that this is the best way of surviving in such a place." Jojial could only sit down because of tiredness. He said, Gosh, even having 10 lives wouldn't be enough to survive in a place like this. Yun Myung agreed with what Jojiol said. Cheong Myeong, on the other hand, just smiled at them and told them to stop whining. Yun Myung just looks at Cheong Myeong. In his mind, he looks as if he is used to this place even though he hasn't been here before. In a place where there isn't much light. We need to be alert all the time since we don't know what traps are waiting for us, but taking every step cautiously tires people out more than they would expect. Yun Myung asks Cheong Myeong, "Aren't you tired?" Cheong Myeong replied, "Why would I be? This is barely the start. If all those traps we faced are the arrangement of the woundless sword interceptor, there are definitely going to be more. Things would be different though if there weren't any traps at all." Yun Myung was confused. What does Cheong Myeong means that this is just the start and about the arrangement of traps? Yun Myung just thinking, why would the woundless sword interceptor create those traps on purpose? So he asks Cheong Myeong, he said, "In that case, why did the woundless interceptor or the Medicine Immortal create a place like this? If he had wanted to leave behind the origin energy pill, then he could have just done so. The same goes for the divine weapons. While he was the woundless sword interceptor, he also lived as the Medicine Immortal. Why would he create such traps and endanger the people who entered his graveyard?" Come to think of it, the nickname Medicine Immortal was given to him because he was a kind person who had treated a lot of sick patients and created countless of medicine pills. Why would such a person make a graveyard like this? I really don't understand him. Cheong Myeong said, instead of asking why he created this place, you should think of why he became the woundless sword interceptor. There is one thing that I am sure about humans. Yun Myung asks, "Sure about? What is that?" Cheong Myeong replied, "Humans are unpredictable. Even people you think you know very well might do something that you never thought that they would do. How could you possibly tell what someone from 200 years ago was thinking? So, there is no need to try and understand him. We are just here to take what we want. That is all. It doesn't matter what he is thinking." Hearing that made Yun Myung think. In his mind, that is cold-hearted, but he is right. Realistically speaking, we just need to get what we came here for. There is no need to understand the woundless sword interceptor. However, I can't help but get this feeling that there was a reason why he created this graveyard. I feel like there is something the woundless sword interceptor, who used to be the Medicine Immortal, wanted to tell those who would find this graveyard. Cheong Myeong said, "Besides, if the Medicine Immortal had different intentions from us, would you just choose to turn back without the origin energy pill?" Yun Myung replied, "Of course not." Cheong Myeong said, "I have no interest in what story of a person of the past has. What is important is that the method of creating the origin energy pill might be in here." With burning eyes, Cheong Myeong said, "I will find it even if it cost me my life. I will." He shouted at the old beggar Hong Daegwang, asking if they are already done with the treatment. Daegwang told him that they are already finished. Cheong Myeong asks, "You brought along the antidote for paralyzing poison?" Daegwang replied, "To be accurate, this is the antidote for the paralyzing powder. I brought it along since we didn't know whom we would meet, but it was effective nonetheless." Cheong Myeong said, "Oh, to think you brought things like that with you." Daegwang laughs and proudly replied, "Who do you take me for? I am known as the wise man of the beggar sect, even though I might not look like it to you." Cheong Myeong told him that they needed to move if he already finished treating him. Then they walked for several miles and Daegwang said, "Seriously, just how big is this place? We have walked quite a bit already." Cheong Myeong replied, "The cave is slightly curved, so the actual distance covered is probably not that great. Even so, we should see the end of this path. There is a limit to how big of an underground space one can create after all." In Cheong Myeong's mind, there is a problem though. At the end of this path, we will face those who have arrived there before us. They continue to walk on the path towards another place, but what awaits them there is still a mystery. On the other part at the end of the cave are elite martial masters and there are piles of corpses in there. Gakbu pulls off his sword from the dead body of the martial artist. Jo Myung-sun said, "New ones are about to arrive. I think we should deal with them first before we move forward. I think they are the last ones. If we delay for too long, the divine weapons might be snatched by those who went ahead of us." Gakbu said, "You are right. Let's deal with them quickly and get going." On the other hand, Cheong Myeong looks at the phosphorescent crystals that he wants to take. Cheong Myeong said, "That is all my precious money though. If a certain beggar hadn't made the ceiling collapse earlier, I could have taken all of them." Hong Daegwang was bullseye from what Cheong Myeong said. Daegwang said, "Come on. It is thanks to me that you are more cautious now." Cheong Myeong looks back and glared at him, asking him, "What?" Daegwang was shocked from it. Baekchan and Yoon Young grab Cheong Myeong and pull him until they reach the end of the cave. Cheong Myeong still whining, and he said, "I won't forget this grudge of mine." At the end of the cave, they were able to arrive at a new place that looked like a coliseum. Hong Daegwang was amazed. He said, "Wow, did someone create such a large place underground with their own hands?" But after all of them arrived in the area, the gate closed suddenly. One of the beggars said, "The way we came from is blocked now." Daegwang thinks that the blockage of the door is not a good sign for them, but he suddenly smelled a scent of blood that made him look back. There he saw a pile of dead bodies of martial artists with blood all over the place. One of the people who was at the pile of corpses was the Heavenly Sword, Gokbu. Daegwang looks at the culprit. In his mind, judging by a quick glance, there are at least 20 corpses. All of them have been slaughtered brutally. And those who are standing on the top of the corpses are Mighty Axe, Shandong Swift Sword, Azure Sword Scholar, the Red Slaughter, and Zhou Myungsan Yangtze River Black Blade. Even him! Hong Daegwang shouted, "Zhou Myung-san, have you joined them in their crazy act?" Zhou Myungsan replied, "Oh, I just noticed you right now, Beggar Hong." Daegwang said, "What the hell have you done here? I thought I knew what kind of people you and the Heavenly Sword were. To think you would kill all those innocent people so brutally. This is way too inhumane." Zhou Myungsan laughed and replied, "What do you mean innocent? You are greatly mistaken here. Have you forgotten this saying from Jianghu? Not only those who possess treasures are guilty, but also those who covet them. Since these people coveted someone else's treasure, aren't they guilty?" Hong Daegwang angrily said, "You, Zhou Myungsan, are you really the same person that I knew? I thought you were someone who understood what chivalry was." Zhou Myungsan replied, "Of course, I am the same person. We crossed paths multiple times while doing chivalrous deeds, didn't we? I can even become stronger if I obtain a divine weapon here. I will then use that strength to do even more chivalrous deeds. Do not worry, I still think having chivalry is more important." Hong Daegwang glared at them and said, "You are out of your mind. You have gone crazy over treasures. No matter how greedy you are, there are lines that you should never cross." The Mighty Axe just laughed at Daegwang and said, "You talk as if you just came here to talk things out. Don't act innocent at all, beggar. The moment you jumped into this place, you have become someone who is after the same thing as us. Didn't you come here with the resolve to spill blood? You are shameless for acting all righteous despite being the same as us. How ridiculous!" Daegwang shouted, "Like I said, there are some lines that should never be crossed. I don't intend to kill anyone who I am able to put into submission. I am not waiting for people to intentionally kill them." Gokbu stands up and said, "The line you are talking about, isn't it different for everyone? In any case, there is no need to talk any further since all of you are going to die." After that, Daegwang hurriedly looked for a place that they could run, thinking that they were at a disadvantage. In his mind, there are several gates that look like the one we went through, however, they are all closed. Gokbu asks Daegwang, "Are you looking for a way out?" "What a pity though, the only way out is here." Gokbu added, "Do you get it now? We are simply following the will of the woundless sword interceptor. All the corridors that we walked past were all blocked. After going through the forked paths, we have all eventually gathered in this huge hall, where there is one only exit left, which means the woundless sword interceptor wanted us to fight to our deaths here." Daegwang put aura in his fists and said, "Are you seriously justifying yourself with that reason? So you are going to kill us as well, huh?" Gokbu replied, "Do not blame us for this. The Jianghu is a heartless place to begin with." Daegwang covered his body with an aura while doing a martial arts stance. He shouted, "Beggars, take up your weapons. We will put an end to those bastards who have thrown away their humanity. Bring them all down or die trying." Looking at the enemies, in Daegwang's mind, to think those people formed an alliance with each other, having joined forces. They are so strong that even the Wudang sect would not be able to deal with them so easily. The power of the beggar sect alone won't be enough to do a lot for them. If we simply fight them like this, we will just end up like those corpses before us. In that case, what Degwang thinks is to ask help with the Mount Hua disciples. He said, I know I am being shameless here, but at this rate, the other beggars and I will all die here. Please help us. Baekjin points his swords towards the enemy and he said, of course we will help you. While we don't pride ourselves on being chivalrous, we don't intend to let those who have thrown away their humanity get away with doing what they want. Gakbu praised the Mount Hua disciples and he said, that is some good fighting spirits from the brats of the Mount Hua sect. That is why it is entertaining to see new people step into the Jianghu. Cheong Myeong said, we are out of time. Let us take care of things here quickly and go after the Wudang sect. On the other hand, the mighty axe said, I will get to taste some blood again. While Degwang looks like he is trying to fight, there is something that he is thinking. In his mind, even if we join forces with the Mount Hua sect, we will barely be able to withstand their attacks. It won't be long before we get pushed back by them one-sidedly. Our goal here is to run away. I must create an opportunity to escape through that only path up ahead no matter what. This is the only way for everyone to be safe. Cheong Myeong suddenly moves forward and asks, are you done talking crap? Because Cheong Myeong is still not known to this old martial artist, Gakbu asks, who are you? Cheong Myeong replied, what does it matter to you? Gakbu took a sigh and said, oh, I guess there is a crazy one here. But Gakbu is right since this bastard is super crazy. Cheong Myeong holds his sword and asks Gakbu, didn't you say that the Jianghu is a heartless place? Cheong Myeong unsheathes his sword and said, I will show you what heartlessness is truly like. After unsheathing his sword, Cheong Myeong's hand starts to tremble. He could only hold it down to stop it from trembling. Cheong Myeong starts to question his mind. Am I really in fear? It doesn't look like he has anything special though. The moment he pulled out his sword, my body started to froze. He was still trembling and sweating in fear, and all of his senses were warning him that Cheong Myeong is dangerous. Cheong Myeong warns Gakbu and he says, we better not underestimate that child. But Gakbu just laughs at him and said, huh? What are you talking about? It is no time to be joking even if we were up against a kid with a sword. Geez, looks like the Yangtze River Black Sword is scared. Well, disciples of reputable sects do chicken out at crucial times sometime. Gakbu walks slowly towards Cheong Myeong. This old fella is really courting death at this time. Gakbu told Cheong Myeong, you said you would show us what heartlessness is truly like, didn't you? Then Gakbu throws his great sword in the air. Then he told Cheong Myeong that he will going to swing down his sword and Cheong Myeong must try anything to stop it. But Cheong Myeong just stands still from his position. Even a great falling force was approaching from the attack of Gakbu and a huge explosion happened in that area as soon as it hits Cheong Myeong. But he was shocked when he saw that Cheong Myeong managed to block his attack with ease and Cheong Myeong pushed his attack away to parry it down. After that, Gakbu grabs his great sword again and continuously attacks Cheong Myeong, which Cheong Myeong easily blocks without even moving an inch from his place. The exchange of blows continues, but Cheong Myeong doesn't regard him as if he were just an insignificant ant. Then, Cheong Myeong pushes his sword upward, causing Gakbu to lose his grip on his own sword. But the moment he was pushed away, Gakbu used that as an opportunity to gain momentum by spinning his body to attack Cheong Myeong. He called Cheong Myeong as a brat and his attack was approaching Cheong Myeong in a fast speed, but this young disciple didn't even blink while the attack is approaching. The next thing that happened was Gakbu being surprised as his world turned around. It was because his head and arms were already flying, and he didn't even notice Cheong Myeong's attack. Cheong Myeong informed Gakbu's comrades about who was going next and follow Gakbu in the afterlife.